Welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how to implement in-app purchases for your in-app products or subscriptions inside your Godot game. So we will create an Android plugin for this. This video is specifically for Android. Now first what you will have to do is you will have to create a release APK, and I won't show you that, otherwise this video will be very long. You can check the Godot documentation or the Android documentation on how to create a release APK. Inside your release APK, like for your Godot game, you will need to have a privacy policy, because we need to add this APK, or you might generate an Android app bundle as well. You have to add this to internal testing first. Once you add your app or game to internal testing, then only you can add in-app purchases for your particular app through Google Play Console. Otherwise you won't be able to add it. So even if your app or game is not complete, it's okay. Your app won't be reviewed by Google. Like, they will just check basic things like privacy policy, and that your APK does not have any kind of a virus. And once you deploy to internal testing, it will be approved pretty quickly. Like, it might take 5 to 10 minutes or half an hour max. Also, one more thing, you will have to add all those details like your app name, description, screenshot. That part I'm not going to show you. That's one thing. And the other thing is, inside internal testing you will have to add these two groups: Gmail account with testing access and licensed testers auto generated. Inside this you can add your testers Gmail account, and if you scroll down you will get a link for your where your app is located for internal testing, and you can share that link with your testers so that they can easily download it. If you are a developer, then once you have deployed your app to internal testing, you don't have to keep deploying it again and again. You can just run it through Godot or Android Studio, whatever, and you will see those changes automatically. Thing is how to add in-app products. So what you will have to do is you will have to go to Google Play Console, go to the monetize section, and inside there you will have to go to in-app products. And here you can see I have already added 2 products, but I will show you how to add a product. Just click on create product. Then inside product ID can be anything, but typically it's a good idea to add your package name. So suppose your package name is com dot whatever, coding with nobody dot whatever will be your would be your product ID you want to use. So suppose it is a counter app, or it is something like coins, game coins. It can be anything. So you can give something like this, but do remember this product ID. Then you can give a game name to your product coins. Give some description. I'll keep it as same. Then you can set some price as well. I'll set 111. I'll apply prices. Then you will have to click on save over here, and then you also have to click on this activate button. Now I have already added 2 products, so I won't add one more product. I'll just delete this for now. And here you can see the counter product which I have added is a consumable product, and the timer is a non-consumable product. I will come back to this on what exactly is a consumable and non-consumable product. Also, you will have to go to subscription, and here same thing, just click on create subscription, give some product ID, give some name, and click create, and you can set some price as well. Okay, so it's basically the same thing. Next, firstly I will show you guys the output. So here you can see that this is my Godot game. Like, it is a Godot app, not really a game. And here I am displaying all the 3 items which I have added, like 2 in-app products, and 1 is the subscription, and below is a label as well. You can ignore that label, that was part of my debugging. Now I am fetching all this subscription counter timer from Google Play Console using the in-app billing library. I haven't hard-coded the data. The only data which I have hard-coded is the ID. Okay, so the product ID which you have added while creating the in-app product or while creating the subscription, that's the only thing which you remember. If you are planning to add this to your server as well, don't add to your server manually. I will show you how to add to your server as well. Like, I won't show you the server logic, that depends on you, but you will have to make an HTTP call to send the data which you get from Google Play Console API to your server. And the disadvantage of manually hard coding inside your server is, suppose tomorrow if you decide to change your price of a consumable product, it's very likely that you might forget it to do it on the server side. So don't hard code things on your server. So I'll show you the output first. So suppose I click, so here I have taken an item list, which is a node in Godot, and I'm just displaying all those products. I'm just displaying their names. There are other details for products as well, which I will also show you. So if I click on, suppose I'm click on subscription, and here you can see that I'm seeing this subscription dialog. I have connected through Wi-Fi debugging, that's why the output is little so. And here you can see I'm just using test card because I'm using internal testing. Now if I click on subscribe, here you can see that the data was successfully subscribed. Okay, like I was able to successfully subscribe to my subscription. Now if the user clicks on subscription again, here you can see that you are getting an error, obviously, because you have purchased the subscription, but the user can cancel a subscription as well. And if to cancel the subscription, just click on manage subscription. Now how we will get a callback once a subscription has been cancelled? So there is no way to get the callback on the like on the app side or on the plugin side or on the client side. I will show you how to get it on your backend side. Like for that you will have to integrate with your backend as well. So you will have to ask your backend developer for this. So here I will just cancel this subscription for now. I'll cancel. Okay, I will decline to answer. Click continue, cancel subscription. Okay, and here as you can see the subscription is cancelled. Now I will just click on subscription again, and you should be able to buy that subscription again. Okay, now how to check whether the subscription was cancelled or not? That can be done only via the client side. So this is the documentation for this. So I will just go to this documentation, and inside the documentation you will have to go over here. So you can see about the server backend integration. I won't be showing you in this video, but if you are interested and if I get few like a few hundred comments, then I will definitely do a video about this. So here you can see real-time developer notification reference, and here you can search for cancel. Okay, so subscription cancel. So you can get notified on your backend once the user has cancelled the subscription. Okay, it's impossible to get it on the client side or on the app side. So that's one thing. So the next thing is a counter, which is a consumable product. So I will tell you what is the difference between, so I will just let you know now itself. So if you see over here, digital content can be one-time products and subscription. One-time product can be consumable product which expires, like game currency or coins. Okay, and non-consumable products are which never expires, like premium feature or ad free. I think most developers might game developers might already know this. And subscription is like a free trial or introductory pricing, that kind of stuff. Okay, so here now I will click on both. Counter is a consumable product, timer is a non-consumable product. While you're adding your products like in-app products like counter or timer on Google Play Console, you can't differentiate on the Google Play Console whether it is a consumable and non-consumable. You have to differentiate via code, and the way you differentiate is the way you acknowledge that particular product once the user purchased it. So I will let you know that as well later on. So suppose if I click on counter for now, I'll click buy, and here you can see the payment was successful. Now I'll click on timer as well. Ignore this toast message, like these were just part of my debugging. And here you can see I have clicked timer as well. If I try to, so timer was also purchased. Now if I try to click timer again, here you can see I'm getting an error. You already own this item. So one thing which I want to tell you guys is that don't just rely on this video tutorial, do check the documentation as well. So this is the documentation link. Okay, and if you are curious, you can read the documentation or integrate the library. You can watch this video first, then you can try reading the documentation. Then I think it will make a lot more sense to you. Second thing is there are some sample repos which Google themselves has created. I think this one or this one, I also have the server integration as well. So if you are curious, you can use that as well. Next, also I want to show you because Godot, I'm using Godot 4.2.1 and it currently targets version 33, Android SDK version 33. Maybe in future they might target to 34, but I want to show you that as well, how to update to 34. So let's get started. Firstly, again, if you want a step-by-step guide on how to create plugin, I already have a video on this. Here I will just go quickly over all the details. I won't show you the each and every step by myself. Okay, I will just explain you all this. So first you will have to create an Android project. Once it can be an empty views project or a empty compose project, whatever. Then you will have to create a new module. So what you can do, so this is my project. Just right click, file, new module, go to Android library, give your library a name. I have just given it as my library. I have already created it, and you can give a package name as well. You just give a module name. I have given it as my library, which you can see over here. And inside package name, don't keep it as it is. Using this com.example is bad. Use something else, whatever makes sense to you, and just click on finish. I have already created this. Okay, so the next thing what you have to do is go to this, make sure you are in this Android drop down. Next you will have to select this build.gradle.kts, and here you will have to add this dependency. This is for Godot 4.2.1 because I'm using that version. If you are using some other version of Godot, make sure you go to Maven Central and check what is the latest version of Godot. Then we also have to use this billing client library for in-app purchases and subscription, and we also require this Kotlin coroutine support. Even though I'm using Kotlin 1.9.20 inside my Android project, the Godot 4.2.1 still targets Kotlin 1.7.0. that's why I have to add this as an external dependency, but hopefully in future you might not have to add this dependency. Okay, next here you can see I have just written all the steps. Next we have to create this file called Godot Android plugin. So just go to your my library or whatever your library name is, and here first create this file called Godot Android plugin. Next you also have to create this extension file. So here you can see I have just created this Kotlin extension file to handle different types of error messages that we get from the billing client library. If the error message is billing unavailable, then I'm just returning billing unavailable, but you can write a proper error message, same over here. So I'm doing the same thing over here. So this is just a Kotlin extension function which helps us to avoid repeated code. So inside Godot Android plugin, as you can see, this is boilerplate code which I have just copied from documentation. Then we require this lifecycle owner as well because we are making use of coroutines, and we also need this billing client state listener first. So this is related to lifecycle coroutine, so I'm just using this lifecycle registry. Then here this is important thing. So consumer ID, consumable counter ID, non-consumable ID, and subscription ID. So don't just copy paste this ID. Whatever you add inside your Google Play console, make sure you add those IDs over here, otherwise you will get error. Next over here, make sure you add this. We are creating a variable for billing client. Then I have created two lists, like an array kind of stuff. This is a product detail list which will help us to save the products. This will be remain on the native Android side itself, but for title I'm just adding the product title to this title list, and then I'm converting this list again to a string and sending it to Godot side. So the items which you were seeing inside the item list, that the subscription counter and timer, they were added to this list. And the reason I'm converting this list to a string before sending it to Godot, because at the time of this recording Godot does not support custom data types. That's why I have to convert it to a string. Then I have again added this lifecycle event, because again this is required for lifecycle coroutines, as well as I had to override this method because I'm implementing this interface. Next I have called this overridden method from on Godot setup completed. So on Godot setup completed, here you can see that we are listening for this purchase updated listener, and this gets called every time a user purchase a product. So I will come back to this later on, but as soon as the Godot setup is completed, I am initializing our billing client. So inside this billing client, you can see that I am setting the listener for purchase updated listener as well, and I am also enabling pending purchases as well. Next, here we are adding our signals. So signals are used to send data from our Android plugin to Godot side. So this is for the product signal, so the items which you see inside the item list, and this is for purchase signal. Like whenever a user has purchased an item, I am just sending some string data as well, but just saying that okay, this was success. Even though I was not using that really on the Godot side, but like I have just shown you so that it might be helpful for you. So first there is this method called get all products. So this will help us to fetch all the products which are present inside Google Play console. So first you will call this billing client.start connection of this. As soon as you call this, the either of these two overridden methods will be called. So you suppose if there is some network error, then on billing service disconnected is called, and inside that I am again calling this billing client.start connection. If you check the docs specify that you have to write your own retry logic, but I'm not really sure what else can we write inside this retry logic. Maybe you can continuously check for internet connection, and if you want to know how to continuously check for internet connection, I also have a video on that on my channel on how to create a plugin for that, so maybe you can use that. But suppose if the internet connection is fine and everything is working as expected, then what on billing setup finished method is called. So once on billing setup finished method is called, then here we are calling two methods, query products and query purchase. So query products will help us to fetch all the products which are present inside Google Play console. So here you can see, if you see the query products, I'm just passing the ID. So given that this is a subscription, that's why the product type is subs, and for this, these are in-app products, right? That's why I'm passing it something like this. So if you see the query products, this is again boilerplate code to build a query product params. This will remain same for everyone, and from that we get this product detail result by querying the product details. So once you get the product details, you will come over here inside this OK response, and you can see I'm adding it to our product detail list, and the name I am adding it to our title list, and I am emitting that signal back to the Godot side, which will help us to populate that item list. If you want to send some other details, then you can send that as well, but I have kept the tutorial as simple as possible. Next, if something goes wrong, I am just displaying a toast message, but you should handle the error message in a better way. Okay, same over here as well. Next, there is something called query purchase as well, which you can see I'm calling over here as well, query purchase. So query purchase, when it is called, so suppose a user has purchased a product, and as soon as he purchased the product, suppose the network went down and you were not able to acknowledge the product. So again, once the user opens the app, we are checking whether there is a product which is not yet acknowledged. So for that we are using this query purchase. So again, we are calling this method for subscription as well as in-app products. And if you see inside query purchase, if the billing client is not ready, again we are displaying an error message. Otherwise we are calling this query purchases params, and we are passing it to query purchase async. If everything is okay and if product detail list is not empty, that means there are some products which are not acknowledged yet. And if you want to see how each product looks like, so I will show you how a sample products look like. So a sample product would have a title, a name, a product type, a description, a product ID, one-time purchase offer detail, subscription offer detail. So if you remember, that's why at the start I was telling you, don't hard code this data on your backend server. Okay, so if you see over here, sorry, these are product details and these are purchase details. Okay, so here we will get this purchase details. Okay, and if you see inside purchase details, so you will get this token, state, acknowledged, signature, account identifier. The important thing is this JSON. So inside this JSON we get this product ID, and depending on this product ID we can differentiate whether it is a consumable product or a non-consumable or subscription product, because the way you acknowledge a consumable product is different from a non-consumable or subscription product. So if you see over here, that's what I'm doing. I'm getting the product ID from this particular JSON over here, this JSON. So once you get this product ID, and if it is a consumable product, then I am calling handle purchase. If it is a non-consumable or subscription, then I am calling acknowledge purchase method. And if there are some error message, I'm just displaying a toast message. Okay, also one more thing which I want to tell you guys is, inside just a second. Okay, over here, once you query a product, now if you want, you can sync all this product detail with your backend server. Okay, so here you can call an HTTP call, or if you don't know how to do an HTTP call in Kotlin, you can send all this data to your GD script or Godot side and then call an HTTP, then do an HTTP call like we are sending the title over here. Also you will have to like, if you remember, I have cancelled one subscription after purchasing it, so you will also have to call that API over here as well, just to check if the subscription was cancelled or not from your backend API. Okay, so that's it. Next is launch billing info. I will come back to this later on. So this is handle purchase. As you can see, this will be called for consumable product, and first I am checking whether the product is purchased or not. If yes, then I am checking whether the product is not acknowledged. Okay, if the product is not acknowledged, then only we need to run this. But before this, you will have to check this purchase token is present in your backend server or not. So every time user purchases a product and you are trying to acknowledge it, you have to put this purchase token on in your backend server. If there is a purchase token already with this purchase token on your backend server, that means there is someone is trying to hack in your app. So be careful with this. You will have to write an if check as well as do an HTTP call over here as well, just to check whether this purchase token is already present inside your app or not. Okay, if it is not, then you can proceed with this. So I'm just doing this consume params, and I'm calling this consume async method, which will help us to acknowledge this particular product. And if it is successfully acknowledged, then I'm just sending a success message back to Godot side. Similarly over here, and here I'm just displaying an error message. Okay, similarly for non-consumable or subscription product, here you can see that I'm calling this acknowledge purchase method. Again, same thing, checking whether the product has been purchased or not. If yes, then I'm checking whether it is acknowledged or not. If not acknowledged, then we go over here. Again, you have to check whether this purchase token is present inside your backend server or not. If yes, then do not proceed ahead with this. If no, then proceed ahead with this, and once it is success, then you save your purchase token on backend server. Also over here, once it is success, save your purchase token on your backend server. Okay, so here we have successfully acknowledged our non-consumable or subscription product as well. Similarly over here, you can save it to your backend. If you now, there is another method called query user history. I am not using this, but I am just showing it to you. It might be helpful for you, but here also you won't get an acknowledgement whether a subscription was cancelled or not. So don't use it for that purpose. Maybe you just want to show a list to the user on what all products he has purchased, so maybe you can use this for that. So here you can see I'm just calling query user history, and I'm just passing this query user history, and here you can see you will get all this details about your history. Okay, I won't go much in detail. So this is how it is. Okay, and on main destroy, once this plugin has been destroyed or removed from our memory, we want to end the connection to our billing client. Okay, now coming back, how to purchase the product. Okay, so for that also I have created an use by Godot method. So here, once this launch billing is called, so once you press an item inside your item list, I am sending that particular name of whatever item you have selected from Godot side to our native Android plugin, and this is the ID for that. It should be a name, but anyways, then inside our product detail list, I am finding which product the user has selected. So I'm calling this found object, and once we get that, I'm calling this launch billing info. Now if you go to launch billing info, here you can see, then I'm deciding whether it is a subscription ID or whether it is a consumable or non-consumable product. And if you see, this is how product details look like. Okay, Now this thing remains the same. The only difference is that if it is subscription, we have to pass this offer token as well, and even this was a lot of headache because the documentation does not tell you that. Next, I'm just calling billing flow params. I'm just generating our param for it, and if the billing client is not ready, again show an error message. If it is ready, then we are calling this launch billing info method of our billing client. So once the user purchase the item, you will come over here, but as soon as the user comes over here, you will get a callback. So this is for error message. So as soon as the purchase is successful, the purchase is not done yet, so you will get a callback over here. So if you remember, we have written this purchase updated listener method, so this one. So here we are listening. So once the user pays for our product, then you will come over here automatically as a callback. Then again it is same, right? This purchase, you will get this purchase JSON. So again I'm getting this product ID from our purchase JSON. So if you see, I'm getting the product ID. Again, if it is a consumable, then again call handle purchase, because we want to acknowledge our product. If it is a non-consumable or subscription, then we want to acknowledge the purchase as well. That's why I'm calling this acknowledge purchase method. So, and here this is again error handling. Do it in a better way, that's all I can say. So yeah, that's it for this. Next, what you will have to do is we'll go over here again. Then you will have to go to Android manifest, add this bit of code. So just go to project Android manifest.xml. first add this internet permission. Next you have to add this bit of code. Again over here you will have to make sure you replace this in-app purchase plugin, my in-app purchase plugin, with your own plugin name. So if you remember, we have added this plugin name over here. Next you will have to add this as well, Godot Android plugin. How to get this package name? So if you just go at the top, here is the package name for your Godot Android plugin. So this is done as well. Next you will have to go to project directory, and you will have to go to your my library. You will have to create a folder called export scripts template. Inside that, first create this file called export plugin gd _ plugin.gd. again I have copy pasted this from docs. The only thing which changes this is your plugin name, and the next thing which you have to add is this get Android dependency. So if you remember, we have added this dependency in our build.gradle.kts file. So we have to add this over here. This is for debug, this is for release. Similarly, coroutines also we have to add. Maybe in future you wouldn't need to add this if Godot supports Kotlin 1.8.20 at least. And we also have to add this lifecycle runtime, because we are making use of this lifecycle owner concept for coroutines. So we also have to add this bit of code. Next you have to create another file called plugin.cfg. again I have copy pasted this from docs, and the only thing, I don't know why did I wrote this my plugin, this is incorrect, sorry, but still it works. I don't know why. Maybe it's that it isn't that important, but this should be something like this. Okay, my plugin, my in-app plugin purchase, okay, something like this. And you can change the description and author name to whatever you want. Okay, so I have told you this, I have told you this as well. Okay, next you will have to open your terminal, cd to your Android project, do not cd to your library, and then you will have to run this command. So in this command of where did it go? Yeah, /gradle w.assemble. Then you will have to go to your Android project. So this is my Android project. Go to your library, go to build, outputs, AR, and here you should see two files, .ar files. Again you are not seeing this because I have already copied this file to my Godot project. Next you will have to create your Godot project. So I have already created this. Inside that, create a folder called add-ons. Inside that, create a folder with your plugin name. So my plugin name is this. Inside that, create a folder called bin, and inside that create two folders, debug and release. Now you will have to copy the debug AR to this debug folder and release AR to this release folder. So I will show you that as well. So this is my Godot project, add-ons, my plugins, bin, debug. So here you can see this is the debug AR file, but here you will again have to change the file name to whatever is your plugin name. Okay, so my plugin name -debug.ar. Similarly for release as well, your plugin name -release.ar. Once you do that, you will have to come out of your bin folder and you will have to copy these two files of export plugin.jd and plugin.cfg over here. Okay, so I have already copied those two files. Next you will have to go to project settings, plugins, and you will have to check this check mark. Okay, so that's done. What's the next step? So we are done with this project. Okay, so here now coming back to this, here you can see I have just created an item list as well as a label, and I have attached one script to it. Now this should be again your plugin name, and if you see over here I have just created two variables for our item list and label, and inside onReady I am initializing our plugin, as well as I am listening for this two signals as well, for one for product and one for purchase. And as soon as our plugin is ready, I am calling the get all products method as well, so we will get all the details. So once you get all products, so this signal will be called, right, product signal. So this is the signal, so I'm converting that data to string, then I'm just assigning it to our label. This is not really needed. Then I'm converting the string to a list, like to an array, like, and I'm populating this inside unique items. So once it is inside, I'm just adding it to our item list as well. The reason I'm using this unique list is because sometimes I have noticed that there are multiple signals sent from native Android side to Godot side. That's why I only want to append those things which are not already present inside unique items. That's why I'm using, and this is like just cleaning up stuff, like converting string back to an array or back to a list or whatever it is in JD script. And if you want on purchase signal, you can just print or handle however it is. And this I have added from item list. So if you go to node over here, item list, and if you see I have added this item clicked over here, so that I will get to know what item has been created. And from that item list I will get the selected item. I'm setting it to our label. This is not really needed, but here you can see I'm calling the launch billing method of our Android plugin. Yeah, next what you will have to do, go to project, install Android build template. I have already done that. Also go to export, click add, click on Android. Here you will have to click on use Gradle build. Also here you might be seeing an error like fix import or something. Just click on that. And here, as I have told you, I'm using, you have to use target HDK 34 and Godot at least for now targets 33, but you can easily add this, like change it to 34. And here, depending on what mobile device you are running, you can select the architecture. If you don't know, select all four of this. Also one more thing which I want to tell you guys is, go to your Godot project, go to Android, go to build, and go to config.gradle. And here, like I was telling you, make sure you update the compile HDK to 34, target HDK to 34 as well, and build tools to 34.0.0 as well. And here you can see that it is Godot is using Kotlin version 1.7.0. like I have tried updating this version to 1.9.20, it doesn't work. You still have to add those coroutines and lifecycle dependencies inside our export plugin file. So yeah, that's it. This is done. This is done. Now also go to your Godot editor settings, just search for Android, and here you will have to add your debug key and Android HDK path. If you are on Mac, your debug key would be on this path, something like this. You can just copy paste it to desktop and add it to your debug key path. Also, if you want to do Wi-Fi debugging, then you can check this option as well inside the editor and editor settings itself. So I think that's it. Let me check if I haven't forgot anything. Mostly I have done this. Yeah, it's better to do server, it's better to have a server side logic as well. Like I've shown you this to dos, right? Sync this data with your to do once you get a product details. Also, if your user has cancelled a subscription, do listen for that. So if you want, you can create one more method for listening for that every time your plugin is initialized, something like that. Or maybe you can send a push notification to your client once a subscription has been cancelled. Push notification won't make sense, but anyways, you might have to update your internal logic of your app. Then also be careful with this purchase token. If a purchase token is already purchased, do not proceed ahead with this. And if everything is okay, make sure you save your purchase token on your backend server as well, similarly over here as well. So yeah, I think that should be it. Again, this is how a purchase looks like, this is how a products look like. For iOS, I still haven't figured out how to create plugin for iOS, like even a normal plugin, because sorry, the Godot documentation are still not updated. But once I figure it out for iOS, I will sorry, I will definitely make a video about it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.